Hi, everyone. Welcome on the call today. Molly and I are so excited to share with you. If you haven't seen us present together before, you might want to turn the volume down because it's gonna get a lot. Actually, just kidding. Turn it up because we've got stuff to say. We got stuff to talk about. And I came prepared today. We're going to talk about the mindset of an athlete. We're going to talk about discipline. We're going to talk about how you can get from thinking about something and about talking about doing something and how you can get that discipline and that consistency to line up and really have real confidence and what that looks like. And we're going to talk about it from an athlete's standpoint. So we're going to get rolling here. And obviously, I mean, gosh, Molly, just anytime, just go ahead and pop in if you're like, and this other thing.
And I wish I would have brought my medal, but I'm at my parents' house and I'm like, darn it.
I
But
can't
I'm
even
glad you have
pretend to
yours.
fight it when they pretend to, like, I can't even think about, like,
Uh-uh,
uh-uh,
uh-uh, no.
uh-uh.
Makes my teeth hurt.
Yeah,
So
I can't even do that. So we're gonna set it aside. All right. So Molly and I know each other because of Arbonne. Thankfully, Molly, Alex, and I, we all met through Arbonne. Molly and I did an Ironman, not together, but at in the same year. And we actually were so blessed to be asked to speak at one of our smaller conferences. One of our corporate gals for Arbonne actually saw that and then put us on the main stage in Vegas. So we actually rode our bicycles out on main stage in the MGM Grand. Everybody else is in their ball gowns, and we're in our like in our uniforms that we're in right
padded bike shorts,
padded bike shorts. So that's the energy you're about to get. So
Yeah.
I want to chat about when I first did my Ironman. I want to chat. You guys can see this little picture here. I'm going to play that video for you guys again. But I feel like in the industry that we're in here with Arbonne, we help a lot of people get started with their businesses, and we help a lot of people get started in their nutrition and their health journeys. I hear a lot of people tell me, I live very publicly, I put a lot of my stuff on social media, and I'll hear people say, oh, I wish I could do that, but I can't. Or I'm just not that disciplined, but I want to do that. I hear that often. And what I hope that you take away, there's a lot of things that I hope you take away from this today, but I hope that you learn that you can absolutely do anything you set your mind to. You can absolutely do anything you set your mind to. And it really matters your circle and who you talk to about the things that you want to do matters. When I decided to do an Ironman, my good friend Jamie was the one that talked me into it. And she had kind of wore me down. She was, oh, you could do it, you could do it. I had never been on a triathlon bike. I had mountain biked or whatever. Triathlon bike, very different. I had run. I can swim. I'm the first one to jump off the bow of a boat. If we're out in some beautiful warm water, I'm like, I can go. But the like actual swimming, I had never done that before. And so she finally wore me down. I'm like, okay, I'll do a half Ironman with you. Fine. Then I get a triathlon bike. You guys, look, oops, go back. Look at how wobbly look at how wobbly that is. This is after I signed up. I got the bike after I signed up. I learned that I couldn't swim. I couldn't swim. I couldn't get my face in the water without hyperventilating. It took me about a year and a half to figure out how to swim without with my face in the water, without hyperventilating. I actually did my first half Ironman with my face out of the water the entire time because I
And
still had.
Sabrina, like tell people how long a half Ironman is. That's
Oh,
not just like a sprint. Like with your
yeah.
face out, it's like, no way. No, you did not do
So
that.
so the swim is a mile, 1.2 miles
Mhm.
in the water, and then you ride your bike for 56 miles, and then you run a half marathon. So you run 12 miles,
So
13 miles.
swimming over a mile with your face out of the
Yes.
water.
And for some perspective is there's a time cap on each section. So if you don't make it by the end of that time cap, they pull you from the rest of the race. I had 2 minutes left. I was in that water the entire time with 2 minutes left. There were only two women in the water longer than me. One was 87. One was 87. Yeah, and I just beat her by like 10 seconds. Okay. I went on to pass 777 people on the bike Bike was my strong suit. But here's the thing, I didn't know what I didn't know. And sometimes that's like the best. And having somebody in my circle, that's what really mattered. This is where this picture here over on the left, that's my friend Jamie, talking me into doing a full Ironman. The day we got done or the day after we did the half Ironman. So she talked me into it right there. You can see she's like, I got an idea. Let's do the full. And this is us with another friend. We actually brought another friend along. She's over on the in the middle there, Katie. So it ended up being 3 of us that did the full Ironman. And I want to tell you this because it is so important who you surround yourself with. If you want to be making healthier choices, if you want to be building a business, if you want to just dial in your life at another level, maybe you feel that kind of stress, anxiety where you feel like you're called for more, and like you have this thing that I think that we all have a calling on our life. We all have amazing things that we're meant for. But if we're surrounding ourselves with people that are like, have you ever even ridden a bike? Do you even know how to swim? Like, what, I would have never done it. But I surround myself with people that are like, well, you know, we could do 7 marathons in 7 days on 7 continents. I have a feeling that's the next thing Molly's going to try and talk me into. But I would never be able to do that if I didn't have that circle. So as we're looking at mindset and things, here over the next couple of slides, I just really want you to think about, and tonight, just think about it. Who are your people in your circle? Mm-hmm. Who are you talking to about your aspirations? Who's speaking life into your life right now, and who's speaking death over your life right now? Oh, you could never. No, you can't. No, you can't. Is that a voice you're hearing in your head? And if so, you need to change that channel. You need to look at that voice in your head. You got to hear those words that you're saying to yourself and reframe that. And one little thing I want you to do real quick. I want everybody to close your eyes real quick. I want you in your head. I want you to scream your name as loud as possible. Okay, you can hear that, right? Now whisper it. Okay, you can open your eyes. Everybody able to hear that? Were you able to control that? Yeah, right? You're able to control that scream, that yell, that you called yourself. Then you can control every other thought that you have that comes into your brain. That is your control. You are in control over the voices you hear in your head. You're in control over the narrative that you are telling yourself. If you can say your name out loud and quietly, you can say, I could do an Ironman, or I could build that business. I could expand. I can make healthy choices today. I can walk an extra loop around the block. I can go to bed early tonight. You can control that. So the next step, and the biggest thing that I have learned through doing Ironman, was about confidence, discipline, consistency, and how it builds confidence. So who here has ever said, I'll start on Monday? And then Monday comes, it's like, oh, Tuesday comes, and then there's like, and you kind of just don't do it, right? And then you say, oh, Monday again. Oh, I'm going to do it. Oh, this time I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it all the way this time. And then you like, don't. When you do that, you stop trusting yourself. You lose that trust in yourself. If you had a friend that was like, yeah, let's go to dinner, and they canceled on you 3 times in a row, and then they said it again, oh yeah, hey, let's do dinner plans. It wouldn't even be out of their mouth before you're like, yeah, right, bro. I'm not making plans with you. It's the same thing for ourselves. When you commit to something, you say you're going to do something, and you don't, we're chipping away at our confidence in ourselves. I used to think that I had to be confident first, and then the other things would happen. But it turns out when I do what I say I'm going to do, I use discipline to do that, and I do that thing. I keep doing it consistently long after. Like, there's plenty of times I don't want to get up and go work out half the time, and then I go and I love it, right? So doing what I said I was going to do long after that feeling I said it in has gone, and actually doing it consistently builds confidence. When you are confident in yourself, you are able to then go out and do more. Okay, I will start on Monday. Yeah, there is not a person in my life that I know right now that if I said to them, I'm going to do something, that they'd be like, is she really? And it's because I built that. That was not always how I was. That's not always how I was. And so I know that each and every one of you guys can do that too. And I want you to start looking at what areas in your life are you saying you're going to do something and you're not. And then I want you to switch that up. I want you to start doing what you said you would do. And it starts with little tiny things. Load the dishwasher before you go to bed. Get the laundry out of the washing machine, put it in the dryer, put it away before the wrinkles set in. Do those little things and build that confidence, and you will be able to build on bigger and bigger things in all areas of your life. Oh, and then over to Miss Molly.
I love that. In fact, I was thinking about that as I walked up to swim today and all the lanes were full and the confidence, like I don't even think anything about asking someone if I can share a lane, right? I'm like, okay, can we share a lane? You have to have confidence to do that. You have to have confidence to walk into a class. I on Wednesdays I get to come to town. I'm about 45 minutes from my parents and I love like checking in on them. And I think I learned this. Like I saw my mom walk confidently into a class. She loves to introduce me to people and she's the oldest one in the class. And I love that because that takes confidence to not have the skills in a class. How many of you are like, oh, the gym, that makes me nervous. And I always think that is where everyone belongs. It's not for the fit people. It's for the people that think they can't, get in the door or muster up the courage. And I think that takes courage every day. And that's built with confidence and that comes with consistency. So, a little bit different about my story is I had the tri bike, right? I had all the things under my belt, but every year would come and go. And I would think I'm gonna do Ironman because I was hooked. 20 years ago, I did my first triathlon right after a marathon. My sweet little Soapy was 10 months old and Sam wasn't even three. So to say I was busy, I was working 60 hours a week as a physical therapist. But like Sabrina said, I know like people never doubted I would do what I said I was going to do. And so every year would come and go, and I'm thinking, I'm going to enter Ironman. And then finally, and this is a lot like your business, and maybe you're not in Arbonne, and that's okay too. But whatever business it is, you're like, oh, but if I put it out there, if I tell someone, worse yet, if I put it on social media, now it's out to the world. And I remember the day that this post was made, it was February, and I was like, oh my gosh, I am terrified. Like, finally, I'm pulling the trigger. I'm announcing to everybody. And just like anything in life, right? When you're like, I'm going to build this business, I'm going to do something, I'm going to go take out the loan for to write my book. Whatever it is, it's like immediately what's going to happen? The negative thoughts are going to come right in and be like, "Are you sure?" Like, who's going to read your book? Who's going to join your business? Like, who are you to think you can build a health and wellness business? Like, you're so introverted and, or why are you going to, you're not even a good writer. I mean, you had me, you had your husband do all your papers in college. Like, you had your mom do your papers, all the things. And I'm like, but that came with, when I put that post out, then I was committed, right? Like I had to say what I was going to do because that's my history. And so I finally pulled the trigger, decided I was going to go after it and share your scary goals. I did a call last night with an 18-year-old. Oh my Lord, I told my sister she has more confidence than you and I put together. She is like, I'm starting off college. I've got 32 hours already in. I've been following this thing. I've been posting on social media. I've been doing the healthy living. I'm having so much fun. I'm absolutely loving this. I'm like, how old are you again? 18? Are you kidding me? Like, she is putting her goals out there. She's like, here's what I want to make, and here's why, and here's what I'm going to do with the money. And I am like, oh my gosh, that is so great. And she just shared her scary goals with someone she doesn't even know. So like Sabrina said, be careful who you share those goals with because people are going to be like, no, sit down, Sabrina. You shouldn't do an Ironman. Do you know how bad that is on your body? That's what I always hear from people. Oh my gosh, how is your body doing now? I'm like, my body's fabulous. I have the most amazing joint space. You know why? Because I've said it since I was 20. I've always said I have phenomenal joint space. Guess what? I do. I do because I've claimed it. So, next, I'm going to talk a little bit about the timing of your goals. So we put the goals out, right? We put the goals out of, I'm going to do this. And so here's my very first race. I'm just a baby myself. I am 33 years old. My sister came to this race. It was so funny. This is a sprint. So for those of you that don't know what a sprint is, I hate sprints because, well, me personally, because you have to go really, 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 really fast for a very short time. So it's not very long. It's a 750-meter swim. It's a 14-mile bike, super fast, and a 5K run. So a 3.1 mile run. Not, I mean, anyone can do that. Truly, anyone can do that. So that was my first goal. I trained maybe for 6 weeks. I was just coming up off a marathon. Like Sabrina, I didn't know a dang thing. I borrowed a bike. I tightened the cages around my running shoes. I didn't have the shoes, the paraphernalia. I borrowed a bike. I thought it was so cool. You got to write your name, and you get to write your age on your calf. Which, oh, I miss those days because they don't do that anymore. And I'm like, I love cruising by somebody 75 now. Like, you go, man. You're looking awesome.
I also
Well,
like to
I
pass the people younger than me. Like, how much more
or
are you?
younger, or younger. Exactly, exactly. So I remember like it was so hot when I did this race. I didn't even know what way I was going. And so this was my very first race and I was hooked. I was hooked. And I think, I'm going to do Ironman. Like we trained for half Ironmans, we raced half Ironmans. And then you guys, life just got in the way. And I was still consistent. I still trained. There were times that I showed up to Sam's baseball games and he would say to me, "Mom, why can't you be like all the normal moms and just like come to the games? Why do you have to ride your bike 80 miles?" And, inside I was thinking, I got up at 3 in the morning so I could get 80 miles in so I could be at your game. But he just was like, "Can you just be a normal mom?" And I'm like, "Sam, I don't know what that is. I'm not a normal mom at all." And so for a long time, friends, I did the work. I just I just wasn't able to race just because I put my kids, we all do this, ahead of us, but I still did the work, right? I was the mom that said, "You know what? I'll take all the boys early to the baseball game and I'd go run 10, 12, 15 miles." I would still do the work, but I was still showing up as a parent. We would travel. I'd figure out where a pool is. We would do something. I remember I registered for races and had to cancel because it was a big soccer tournament, a big volleyball tournament, and that's okay. Just like in my Arbonne business, for me, I thought I would be the top 1% in like the flick of an eye. I got to my Mercedes level in 6 months, and I thought, well, this is easy. And whatever goal that is, maybe I think about my sister, like she's kind of mostly written her book, but it's not quite done. She did it in lightning speed, and now it's been on pause for 2 years, right? It's like sometimes the timing isn't what you think, but I promise you, it is so much better. It took me 14 years to get to the top 1% in my Arbonne business. It might take you 20 years to get to that coveted CEO position. It might be 30 years before you become a superintendent. Whatever that is, I promise you that in between is going to be so much better. And that is the first thing when I went nation, the first thing I did was burst into tears, not because I was joyful, but because I had such an ungrateful heart about my journey of 14 years. So when I crossed that finish line, I remember the man that caught me kept saying, "Are you okay? Are you okay?" And you guys, this is what's so powerful about racing like Sabrina and I did. It wasn't about me finishing. But when I finished, he just kept thinking, "Is she going to stop crying?" And I said, "I just thought I would be 40 when I did this. I just, in my head, I saw Iron Man, I'll be 40. Like that was my goal. That was on my vision board. And guess what? I was 52 when I crossed that finish line. Is that anything to be ashamed about? No, not at all. But I just was like in my head, it was just going to be so much different. Just like in my Arbonne journey, I thought it's going to look so different. But you guys, here's the thing, wherever you are, whether you're talking about Arbonne, whether you're talking about racing, or whether you're talking about your other business that you're working in, it is so important to know that you just have to have the goal and you have to have the faith. And faith is not what we get to see. Faith is just unseen, but it's a knowing. It's a knowing, not a needing, a wanting, or a believing. It is a knowing. And you all know a knowing is so much different. A knowing is so much different. I knew, like I knew, I would get to that top 1%. I just thought it would be sooner. I knew, like I knew I would do Ironman. I just thought it would be so much sooner. But here's the thing is who do you bless along the way? And for me in Ironman, it was it was our daughter. And so she has struggled with anxiety and it has been very, very challenging for her. And you know what? The most she'd ever run is 3 miles. And I remember even in cross country, she'd be like, I don't even like this just because you like to run. And Sam and Dad, I don't like this. I'm like, well, you signed up. You're going to finish the season out. And she didn't run from eighth grade on. She was like, no, thank you. She was a great athlete, volleyball, soccer, all the things. I mean, clearly you're running in soccer, but you guys, when it's about somebody else, she started running with me at mile 6. She had never seen her mom walk. She was like, Mom, what are you doing? And I was thinking, it's it's really hard. This is really hard. I mean, a marathon with headphones in, great. A half Ironman with headphones in, you can do that. But Ironman, guess what? You don't get headphones. So it's you and your thoughts, and that's
Yeah.
it.
And this is after a 2.5 mile swim.
Oh, we should say how long it
Yeah,
is.
a full Ironman is a 2.5 mile swim. Oh my gosh, I'm even forgetting what
112
112.
mile bike.
Yep, and then a full marathon, which is 26 miles. No headphone, no, yeah, you're just you
No
and your
headphones.
thoughts.
Yeah. You with your thoughts, me replaying the Iron Cowboy, which is he did 100 Ironmans in 100 days. I replayed that podcast in my head over and over and over. But what Sophie noticed, and you guys, this is why I always talk about energy, is your thoughts create your actions determine your vibration dictates your frequency, and your frequency determines who you attract and what you attract. So I think about that and I'm like, you know what? Sophie realized when she ran beside me, like my energy, I picked up my pace. My thoughts were better. I wasn't focused on, does my knee hurt? I remember thinking, is my Achilles hurting? Gosh, I've never had Achilles pain. Guess what I focused on? Achilles pain. So once she did that, you guys, she ran 13 miles with me. She's never run more than three ever. And she's like, I could just tell Mom, you needed that. And I did. Those those mindset wise were, and Sabrina agrees, those middle 13 miles, the first six easy. I'm like, this feels amazing. The last six, you're like, I'm fine. I am finishing it. Like you have wheels, but the middle 13, you can't eat, you feel nauseous. You're like, I can't even take in anything. That's where I needed her. And she could tell her energy fed me. And so you got to think about that in your business that maybe it's not about you, but your energy feeds somebody and it gives them a higher frequency. So that's the biggest thing is maybe you don't hit the timing of your goals as planned, but that's not a reason to quit.
Mhm. And it's who you become in that journey. I think that was the
Amen.
biggest thing. Like the finish line, great. Don't get me wrong, I love I still have this handy. But it's who you become in the training that that's priceless. It's not even the crossing the finish line. It's not hitting the goal. It's not achieving the weight loss journey it's who you become in the chasing of that dream that is really the real gift. And when you focus on other people while you're doing it, it is game changer.
It is. And I just was celebrating this will be a year next year or next month that I got my Iron Man tattoo. And my daughter said, get it right there, Mom, because that way you can see it when you're getting ready. And when I'm swimming, even today when I was swimming, I was thinking, I can't believe I did that. I can't believe I did that. Like it is. Sabrina and I are just like, it is so incredible, but it is a great reminder of you guys, wherever you are in life, whatever you're doing, it's all right here. It is all right here. If any of you wanted to do Ironman, you really could. You could go and do the training. I promise you, it's
100%.
it's it's mindset. I mean, it is some physical, you do physically have to work really hard, but I'm talking whatever it is you want to do, it's the thoughts you're having about that. It is the thoughts. Change the thoughts, you'll have different actions.
Hmm. See what else I got from you. Oh, yes. Well, yep, we were just talking about that. Your call to action. You want to grab that?
Oh, yeah, mindset shift. This is something that I coach on all the time in my Arbonne business, in my coaching business, but it literally is subconscious reprogramming. It's changing the thoughts that you have that leads to different actions. I always say I take inspired action, and you know what inspired action means? It means in the spirit, in the spirit. So I love that I can change. my mind about anything. Like Sabrina said, when I wake up in the morning, did I want to swim today? No, I really didn't. I really wanted to sleep. I wanted more sleep. But I'm like, get up because you are going to love how you feel afterwards. It's the feeling about the thoughts you're having, and you will have entirely different feelings. You're going to feel amazing. So it's going to be uncomfortable. Sabrina's going to talk about that.
Yeah, the uncomfortable thing. I mean, you guys saw that video of me on the bike. I tell you right now, being on that bike, if you've ever ridden it, has anybody ridden on a triathlon bike before? Look at your hands. The seat's like this big. It's uncomfortable, but you get used to it. You learn how to adjust. You get used to the uncomfortable, and next thing you know, it's not even anything. Anything new that you do is going to be like awkward. You're going to feel a little weird at first, but if you just stay in your comfort zone, nothing good comes of that. That's not where we're meant to be. So that discomfort isn't danger. And I think that once you reframe your mindset, you get that mindset shift going of like, I am going to do this. I am getting better and better every time. And you make that goal, whatever it is that you have, you make that your focus and you speak positively about it. When you do get uncomfortable and you change that mindset shift of like, oh, okay, this feels different. Not, oh my gosh, I'm scared because I'm doing something different. It's uncomfortable, and it's supposed to be, because the comfort zone doesn't work, right? The old ways the thing that we want to grow out of, that's comfort. We want to move into the new space, and that's going to be uncomfortable. So next big goal, I would love to hear some things, and maybe you guys can add this in the chat. What is something that you've got going on in your life right now that you want to set a big goal for, but maybe you're a little bit uncomfortable saying it out loud? What is something that you've got that you're working on that you would love to grow in, that you would love to grow yourself while you're going towards that goal? I'll share mine while you guys type in. I obviously am with Arbonne. I love what I do. I've been with the company for 12 years. My next goal with my business is I'm actually expanding here locally and really building a community of people that are really wanting to be not just healthier, but also build their own businesses. So my next goal is to become an executive national vice president with Arbonne. What that means is I've promoted somebody else out as a national vice president. What that means for me is that I have to work on my mindset. I have to work on what I know is possible. I have to do a lot more work on my way to get there. And it's a little scary putting that out there, because it's like, what if that doesn't happen? So what? So what? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if it's now or 10 years from now or 17 years from now. But that's my big goal that I'm working on, is going executive national vice president. That's my goal. Anybody else want to share some of theirs? Nobody has typed in yet. Not
I
one.
love
There we
that.
go.
I'm like, yes, you keep typing in the chat. And I love this. If you're worried about the cost of going for it, you should see the price of staying exactly where you are.
Woo!
That is something I had on my stories, and it got a lot of traction yesterday. So I'm like, it is true. So wherever it is, maybe it's your next athletic endeavor. Maybe it is, I know I helped a girl today in my business sign up for a 5K. Like, I love that. She's like, I could never do what you do. And I'm like, you don't have to do what I do. What do you want to do? And she's like, I'm not a runner. I'm like, let me help you. I want to help you learn how to run. That is my gift. And so I love, I'm like, what is that hair doing? I'm not sure, but we're just gonna let it be. But that is so whether it's an athletic endeavor, whether it is, hiking Machu Picchu for me, that was terrifying. I'm not a camper. So 4 days of 8 hours of hiking, I didn't know. Like, it felt like Iron Man as I was on that bus in Peru. I thought, I really want to call my husband, but he's going to be terrified because I'm not going to hear his voice for 4 days. So can I do this? It was uncertain. I was scared. I was crying. I had tears rolling down my face. But whether it's a 5K, whether it is a next goal in your business, I want to have 4 more Mercedes drivers direct to me, which I am so excited about. And I want to change a lot of lives, right? Like, as a nation, I want to be changing 500 lives in our nation. So that, to me, yes, that is where you declare your goal, you write it down. And if you're watching this recording, reach out to Sabrina and I or Alex and share your scary goal with us. If you're But I always say if you're too scared to type it in the chat, then you've already thought it's not possible, and it is possible.
And if you can control that, you saying your own name in your head, you can control the narrative that you are repeating to yourself. So whatever your goal is, we know that you can absolutely achieve it. If you are not a part of Arbonne yet, we'd love to have you. So please reach out to whoever invited you. Arbonne is how we grew to this point of being able to do these kind of things, the things we learned mindset wise, the things that we've learned, for our nutrition, all of it we learned through Arbonne. We have our other certifications and stuff, but I'm telling you, I didn't learn any of the stuff that I know through anywhere else except for Arbonne. So whether you want to improve your health, whether you want to clean up the products in your household, or you want to just get all in, change your whole entire life, the whole trajectory of your life could be changed if you go all in on your Arbonne business. I was able to leave a corporate job that I was with. I loved it, but I was in government defense. I was locked down where I was. My husband did the same. That's how we met. And we wanted to be able to travel. We wanted to be able to live life on our own terms. I joined Arbonne because I wanted the skincare and the nutrition because I was super unhealthy all the time, but we wanted to travel. So Arbonne became this thing that was a vehicle for us to live the life that we wanted. Now I have a refrigerator right behind my head here because we live full time in an RV and we get to travel and we have that freedom and that flexibility. And I still have purpose. I still have something I get to work towards. So you don't have to want to live in an RV. If you can do whatever it is that you want in your life, and Arbonne can just be that vehicle for it. So please reach out to whoever invited you. They'd love to hear from you. They'd love to help you figure out how Arbonne can fit in for you. And we both just hope and pray that something we said today helps you along your journey. Whatever your goals are, just know that you are made for big things. You are made for abundantly huge things, and you are made to help other people do the same thing. So we love you guys. Thanks for being on today. Thank you guys. Alex, so good. Glad you guys were on. Bye, Molly. Thank you guys.
Bye, thank you.